Welcome to the Cauldron of Curiosities. Welcome to Foragers feedback. I don't know why, it always seems to me that when I select different aspects of Foragers feedback, it ends up being in chunks rather than one fluid video or recording. And I certainly sometimes feel like technology works against me, despite the fact that I like to think I do know what I'm doing with some of the technology. But what do I want to talk to you about today? It's about identification of plants. There are some quite good plant ID apps which you have to pay for. And what I've noticed with Google recently, you might type in a really specific set of instructions and Google will give you what it wants. And one of the things I noticed was I put in a specific item and Google gave me everything but the item that I typed in. So I asked AI, why am I getting results that have nothing to do with what I've typed into the search bar? And it seems that this is the way that search engines are working. So if someone is paying advertising to be able to promote their item, whether you want it or not, then you're going to get those as part of your search results. So you can't use it like a university Boolean search. It's incredibly annoying. And this also accounts for when you're searching for leaves. So I put in flowering trees, April and March. And one of the things that it gave me was the wild service tree, because a wild service tree has a very similar leaf type to the one that I had seen in my video. So I thought, oh, maybe this will help. Well, actually, no, it didn't, because when I looked into it further, the wild service tree likes to live in older woodlands, although you can buy a wild service tree plug-in if you wish to grow them. It flowers in July. So why was it popping up on a Google search of trees that flower in March and April? Why does it want to confuse us all the time? And I found the same with some of the apps that I used. I might take some ground cover photos and it would tell me this is what you're looking at. So, are you sure? And I'd cross-check it and maybe zoom in a bit closer, and luckily I was still there with the plant. And there would be features that would be wrong. And when you think that some people are relying on this technology, the Google, the AI, or the apps to help them make safe choices, it's a bit of a Russian roulette, isn't it? Because if the app decides actually it's going to give you what it thinks you want, hallucinating as it does it, you could end up picking the wrong items. And this might help you to know that one of the Foragers rules is to always double check it. Look for the features. Try and find more than just two features. Look at the leaf shape, if you can see them. If you saw the bud, make a note of the shape and colour. Sometimes the colour is an indicator. What about the stems? Are the stems hairy or are they smooth, and do they have a shape? And these are actually quite useful indicators that you will find in some of the herbal books. Culpeper puts in some really good descriptions of plants. So those are a couple of things to think on. You'll notice in the video that I couldn't work out what this particular tree was. So if you know it was flowering in early April, so potentially it's a March flowering tree, and it was clusters of maybe a white flower, but they were like maple-like leaves on the plant, and it's ringing a bell, but I can't find it and I can't remember what it is. It might be a type of dogwood, possibly, but if anybody's got any ideas, please do comment and let me know what you think it is, and I look forward to hearing from you, and let me know what you think of the video. Okay. Foragers feedback. Excuse the wind, it is a little bit windy. The branches are moving, but there are midges about. And here is a hawthorn. You can see last year's haws still on here, not eaten by birds. And the beautiful blossom preparing. You see the little buds, delicate in clusters. Like creamy dots amongst the green. You see what I mean? So when you're coming in from a distance, the hawthorn's leaves are quite shaggy on the edges. And this tree's been allowed to shape its own way. See the moss, yellow on the branches. Then we've got another tree here. Looking at the buds on that. Not quite sure what this one is. Anyone knows? Is it a late bloomer? You'll notice there are some oak leaves on it, but the ends don't look typical of an oak, but that is well and truly fixed on, so it is a type of oak. But look at the end here, looking at the clusters there, to see if it'll show us how it typically forms, you know, with a common oak, looking at the ends. I saw the oak gall and I did wonder, I was getting confused by the end buds. So a type of oak there, and there's another one here, young. Look, that's Bumble eating grass in the background. So the leaves are coming out. We've got another hawthorn. Beautiful bush dog rose. You can see some of the old hips from last year. Lots of leaf growth next to hawthorn. It's all bobbing around in the wind. This is Bear, my daughter's dog. So some of the trees here, like the blackthorn bush here, is in readiness. The flowers been, you can see the debris from the last flowers, and then we have the leaves come after the flowers with the blackthorn, and there's some young blackthorns that are suckered out over the last couple of years. The clouds are rocking in, aren't they? It's got flowers still there. You see that? One flower left on that blackthorn. And there's a couple there. So this is, you can see the sloes still from last year. Plenty of dandelions out now. You see Bumbles over there, nibbling the cleavers. Lots of cleavers to be found. If you're looking, you're wanting to make your own detox, pop some cleavers into water. This is a bank of blackthorn here. You see the suckers there, and a larger oak hasn't quite come through, is it? So I wonder what type of oak that is, because it's slightly different. So there's a type of oak called a holm oak. Look at the size of that rose bush. And the holm oak is green all year round. So this had lots and lots of rose hips last year. So these have gone black because we've had a bit of cooler air up here. Look at that. I think this is apple. Is it apple? No, it's not. There's a pink flower coming through. Leaves look a little bit small, but maybe it's just early days. It's a fruit tree, isn't it? And I know there's a few apples, and sometimes they have cherries up here as well, which is lovely. So we're a little bit slower. Let's wander through. Where I'm walking at the moment is actually where they planted a whole load of young trees, and it's one of those dog walking parks, so quite useful. It's all enclosed. You can take your dog for a walk and enjoy looking for relatively clean foraging. If you're not taking a lot of stuff, that'd be fine. And this is a tree that we saw the other day, but no one's commented yet because it's not quite fully out. If you look at the leaf on this, it's got it's almost like a hand, isn't it? Like a maple, but it has the flower heads there. So if anybody knows what that tree is it a buckthorn or something like that? So I look forward to hearing your comments for Foragers feedback. Thank you for listening to this episode of the Cauldron of Curiosities. Don't forget to follow the podcast, share it with a friend, and keep your lantern handy for the next curious tale.